I think we're going to continue the adventure on Saturday. So what I'm going to do is to bring up our study level in another class. So negation's at 8, history is at 6. Botany already happened, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm gonna do dialectic, I think. Because I feel like that's a class I want to be good in for my guy who wants to be a cop / detective one day. Yeah, so let's bring up dialectic. Geometry was today, so I'm sure there's a few people in that class in our friends list. Let's just see who's the highest. Mel Cresta. I don't know what I have against Mel Cresta other than he showed up in my list and that pisses me off for some reason. Mel Cresta might be the top. Oh no. Courtenay de Serval got higher than him. And he might be the top. Oh. She got pretty close. Oh, Shuri hung out with me. That's interesting. Well, it's nice that we're apparently popular enough for this guy to want to hang out with us. Melacresta hung out with this bloke. Are they in the same clique? No. Wait. None of my friends are in geometry. Are they at least in some kind of math school class? Doesn't look like it. Okay, well, none of my friends can do math. That's fine. Okay, like I said before, we're going to continue our adventure, but we also have a time slot open. So let's keep bringing up study levels, I guess. Hopefully I can figure out the adventure name. And it doesn't tell me which class, which that kind of sucks. Let's bring up... Oh, man. Yeah, I have no way to predict what's coming up. Oh, well, you know what? If I bring this up, it just means I do, and it happens today, it just means I do better on the final. So let's just go with athletics. Where do the clues lead? Okay. You got a pretty good clue as to where to go next. Follow up on it. Great. You got 2 really important clues. You hurry back to where you and Owen were last together and feel relieved when you see her sitting on the ground, poring over some notes she has written down on scraps of parchment. When she sees you, her face lights up. I made some progress, she says excitedly. I found this inscription on the 3 oldest headstones. It said, "Step into the ring." I was hoping that you have found something else that can help me make sense of it. You sit down next to her and tell her about the 2 clues you've managed to uncover. As you speak, she gets pinker and pinker until she finally spluttering in excitement. "Between the hollow and death," she recites back at you. "At the circled green, step into the ring. I know where that is." You nod. So do you. It's between the hollow tree and the dueling bridge. You notice a green fairy ring there when you are exploring the reserves. As you finish, you notice that Owen is looking at you dubiously. "No, I was thinking of that green circular mound underneath the old tree where the Hollow Earl was killed. You know, the Earl who buried his servants in hollows and left them to die until they finally revolted and hung him." No, you shake your head, determined that you're right. Unfortunately, she seems every bit as determined, and arguing isn't going to get you anywhere. Maybe you should reach a compromise. You suggest that each of you look in one of the places, and if you find anything, to send a magic message. Owen seems mollified by this and offers to let you choose which of the places you want to go to. Explore the circle of green underneath the old tree where the Earl was killed. I kind of wish I went with scouting now because I would rather go to the the place I suggested, but that's fine. I would rather succeed than fail, though. After some thought, you decide that Owen's idea actually sounds better than yours. She smiles a bit when you tell her where you've decided to look. You ignore this and set off in the direction she points you in. At least the mound isn't hard to find, and you stare at it for a moment, then take a breath and step inside. As you do, you mutter over and over under your breath, "Please be the right place. Please be the right place. Please." It seems to work. You suddenly find yourself standing in front of a small, spindly of trees unlike any other you've ever seen. The sound of soft murmuring fills the air. You found it. You send your familiar scampering for Owen, our pet rock, Mr. Pebbles. Scampering, okay. I just like the images in my head of the rock just like uh running through a field, screaming toffee is sticky along the way. Man, that was such a good intro to a familiar. And very soon she joins you. For a few moments, she stands outside the circle and stares at you as though she can't understand what you're on about. It makes you nervous, so you beckon for her to step into the circle. To your surprise, she hesitates, almost as though she doesn't want to. "Oh, and this was your idea." Then she steps in, and her face lines up with relief. "Oh, oh, it's there. It's really there." She looks at you rather apologetically. "I'm sorry, it's just, after all this effort, for a moment I couldn't bear to take the risk that nothing might happen." You wave away her apologies, no harm done. Now you just have to get over to the glade and start that spell. Wait, there's something moving, and another thing moving, and another. There are things all around the tree, huge ambling things. You think you're seeing things until Owen gives a gasp of surprise. "Look! What are those things?" They look like praying mantises to you, but you didn't want to say anything because they're far, far too big to possibly be praying mantises. As the pair of you stare, Owen groans. "Oh no, they're guarding the grove. There was something in the readings I did about the Green Guardians of Knowledge. At the time, I thought it was just a fancy way of talking about the trees. What are we gonna do?" You got to find some way of getting rid of those praying mantises. There are giant bugs. You are not prepared and not going to do this now. Memorization. Try to recall something that might scare the praying mantises. Or observation. Watch the mantises. Does anything seem to disturb them? Well, memorization, I guess. You rack your brain trying desperately to think of something, anything that could frighten these massive insects. Fortunately, it was only last week that you were reading a book about bugs and arachnids, and there had been a whole section on the praying mantis. Now, what had it said? You squint up your eyes as tight as you can. "Birds, that's it. They're scared of beds." I don't think giant ones would be, but whatever. I mean, if we make a giant bird, glamour, attract a very large bird to scare the praying mantis away. Yeah, okay, fair enough. You know what you have to do. Now's the time to prove just how great a magician you really are. You take a firm grip of your wand and sort through the themes carefully and quickly. Calm. You've got to be calm. The most important thing right now is not to lose your concentration. While Owen keeps an eye on the mantises, you begin to cast the spell. You can feel the magic flowing through you, searing out of your wand, pouring onto the sky. Hopefully, if there's a big bird out there hungry for some buggy food, it'll come. For the longest, heart-stopping moment you've ever experienced, nothing happens. And then you hear the pounding of wings, and a shadow falls across the ground. You begin to feel scared. What if from this distance you look like a mantis? But then the insects begin to make a quick rattling noise, and you realize they are scared. And with good reason. The largest bird you've ever seen in your life soars down from the sky and catapults them towards them. Within minutes, the insects have either fled or are being devoured by the bird. The grove is safe. Huh. No, not thinking about that. That option seemed more like Gates magic, because it seemed more like we summoned something rather than. I mean, isn't glamour making illusions? I have to reread the magic stuff in this game. I don't know, maybe glamour can do physical stuff. Owen hurries into the glade. Oh, I'm so excited we're here. We're actually here. Listen, can't you hear them humming? The books say they'll keep humming and whispering like that forever. She grins. Or at least until we cast my spell. You've been so much help. How about you have a break while I get everything ready? You are more than willing to agree and settle down underneath one of the magic trees to wait. You seem to wait for a long time. In the distance, you hear muttering magic words, the odd curse, and the sound of someone getting steadily more and more exasperated. What could be going on? Just as you're about ready to go look for yourself, Owen walks over to you right in the face and near tears. Aw. There's something wrong with the spell, she says badly. I don't know what it is, and I've tried everything to get it to work. I just can't. Please? She sits down, looks at you, her bottom lip trembling. Please give it a try. These are all my notes, and I've left the ingredients at the base of the tree. You nod. Of course I'll give it a try. So it's less us giving it a try and our friend Evelyn giving it a try, because I don't think we have anything in the incantation. Well, we have a little bit of incantation, but I think our friend Evelyn probably has more. Actually, I wrote down what you need for this. You need like 6 in a skill for incantation methods. So I guess Evelyn's probably like a 4 or 5 if this is blue. Evelyn goes over the 3 ingredients that form the base of the spell. There's dried mud root, flaked dragon spells, and the tiniest bit of unicorn horn. She searches through Owen's notes and go over every item. Each one seems to be correct, but there also seems to be something missing. Wait, it mentions the dark brown soil of home 3 times. She needed to add soil. Thanks, Evelyn. The spell is fixed. You find yourself incredibly tempted to just try it out for yourself and see what happens, but you know that Owen will want to be there for the occasion. She brightens up as she sees you coming towards her and hops off the ground. You fixed it? You nod and she hurries with you to the main tree, shaking her head over the mistake in the spell and muttering to herself. She asks that she might be allowed to perform the spell, and you find that you simply can't refuse her. With the most commanding gesture you've ever seen, she straightens up, casts a spell with a flick of her wand, and the fiends devour the ingredients and burst into a spray of silvery light over the glade. There's a short moment of silence, and then you hear a beautiful chorus of leafy voices. Mortals, what would you have from us? You and Owen exchange glances. In all this excitement, you realize you haven't figured out what you wanted to do once you reach the glade. Well, befriend, ask for wisdom. After all, that's what you came here. But ask well, if you displease them, there's no knowing what powerful trees like this might do. I love this color green. This is gonna feel so good to click this button after failing this in my personal game. You remember reading about a great leader once who asked for wisdom. It might not be in your best interest to ask to know all things, for even you know that there are some things about life that is better to be in ignorance about. But wisdom is not so much the knowledge of facts as the ability to discern how to use what knowledge one has. You step forward and make a bow to the trees. Grant us, O trees, Wisdom in its gentlest form. Allow us the ability to discern clearly what is right and just for us to know, and to leave alone that which will only harm us. Let us be innocent and yet wise. Owen stares at you, and you try to look noble and wordy and hope it doesn't show that you're just repeating Lord Esmoth's speech from an ancient poem you read in class. It seems to be working because all the trees are rustling together and a strange blue watery light is forming between them. Before you even know quite what is happening, the light washes over you and you feel a strange, peaceful coolness settling about your shoulders. It is granted. Then the glade is gone, just as though it had never been there, leaving you and Owen staring at each other. You don't say much on the way back to the Academagia, but as she shakes your hands goodbye outside your dorm, you know that you have made a friend for life.